You tuned in to another episode of the Morning After Show with me, Knockout Boxing 86 TV, and the singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. Oh, we're gonna have some fun this morning, man. We got a lot of boxing to talk about this morning, man. So put your seatbelts on when you get in my car and hit my like button. We gotta talk about Eubank Jr. getting put to sleep. We gotta talk about what Conor Benn said about Eubank Jr. getting put to sleep. We gotta talk about Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde next week. We gotta talk about these Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers. We gotta talk about the hate for this damn Spence and Keith Thurman fight. We gotta talk about this big matchup between Beterbiev and Caleb Plant. We gotta talk about Stephen Fulton versus Monster. Anyway, I think y'all get the point. We got a lot of shit to talk about today, man. So hit the like button, grab your coffee, you know what I'm saying? Or if you don't drink coffee and you over there in the UK, get your tea if you drinking tea and shit. And get ready to have some fun with us this morning, man, as we rock out and do our thing today. $22 people in the building so far. Run them likes up, man. I only got 15 likes. I need y'all to run them likes up one time, man. Hold up, I got one more for you. I got something my brother G5 Gabe made for me. Where my DJ G5 Gabe at? Where he at? Hold on. Let me find it for y'all one time. Oh, there you go. Where my DJ at? There you go, right there.
KO the base here. We lit tonight. Y'all come through, man. Y'all know how we gonna show up and show out. See y'all all in the building.
Yo, what's up? Let me get my OG up here. There you go, right there. KQKC Boxing Network in the building. And again, I'm
What up?
Knockout Boxing 86 TV. What's up, OG? How you doing this morning, man?
Man, I'm hanging in there, man. How you feel, man? How everybody doing? How everybody doing in the chat?
Yes, sir, man. I'm chilling. I'm ready for a great morning of boxing talk. Ready to hopefully watch these Cowboys make it to the NFC Championship game later. And I'm ready for everybody in the building to hit my like button. We got 43 people in the building with 25 likes. Let's see if y'all can get to 40-something likes by the time I see who we got in the building. Let's do our roll call. We got Icarm in the building. What's up, Icarm? Thrill Hill, what's good? Todd Swindle in the building. Brandon House, Akilo Neater. TJ Boxing and Sports, Mike Biggs Boxing, what's up with it, man? G Parker in the building, Jason, what up with it? Rick Timms in the building, my beautiful wife, Miss Knockout, done slid through. What's up, baby? Crush in the building, what's good with it? Crush the legend. We got Mr. Lightning in the world. Who else? We got Teach done slid through to leave Cunningham. What's good with you? Not me in the building. Yeah, not me. That was some easy work, brother. Very easy work. Renique 313, what's up with you? Salute to you. Philly Zoe in the building. Richmond 804 in the building. Edward Plex, I see you. What's good with you? Marcus Hayes in the building. And let me see. And Edgar Chavez in the building so far. I see you, Edgar Chavez. And shout out to John Boxing pound for pound, the best. Yeah, man. Easy work, bro. Easy ass work. And salute to you, man. And y'all go sub to everybody got a channel. John Boxing pound for pound, the best. Mike Biggs Boxing Crush. Let me see here. Who else I saw in the building with a channel? I think I saw TJ Boxing and Sports. And everybody else that got a channel, you know how we do over here. Feel free to drop your link so people can go subscribe to you. 49 people in the building, 34 likes. Y'all run the likes up. OG, man, how are you doing? How was the weekend in boxing, man? What you got for the people, man?
Man, yesterday was very interesting. Very interesting. You know, it kind of turned out like I thought it would, but I had that small little hope that he would find his own style of fighting, on his own way out of that rut he been in. But then again, you have to look at Liam Smith. He made Canelo Alvarez look pretty good because he been on a winning streak lately. And what that means is Canelo actually fought a good opponent and beat him. You know, so that what made Canelo really kind of look good, you know. So but all in all, hey man, look, it was boxing, and Friday it was boxing also. But we had a great main event card on Friday. That was a good fight, how it turned out. So
yeah,
man, so
let's start right there, OG. So the fight that KQKC is talking about, I told you guys, you got to watch these Showbox cards, or these cards that maybe don't get as much publicity as these big cards, because the fight of the weekend, and right now quite possibly the fight of the year, happened on Friday night, and it was only an 8-round fight between Sean Hemphill and David Stevens, two up and coming undefeated prospects. It was the main event Friday night on the Showbox card, and it was a hell of a fight. OG, break that one down for us, man. What did you see? Let the people know how that fight played out, man.
Well, you know, everybody know everything come behind the jab. Okay, Hemphill was working his jab real well for the first half of the fight. Actually, he was doing a pretty good jab. Actually, he had pretty good gas in his tank, you know. And but a lot of fighters make this mistake. They shoot their whole load and everything and arsenal, everything they got, and they sit down on all their punches in the first 4, 5 rounds. Then after that, then they don't have anything left in the tank. And that make your opponent want to ease on up and come on in and bulldoze you. And that what happened Friday night. He pretty much tried to still work the stick, but he couldn't. He didn't have no energy. His stamina let him down. His stamina let him down, just like Kellen Plant's stamina let him down when he fought Canelo Alvarez. You know, so one thing about your stamina, that's one thing about it. You got to have that intact. Then the other things you can work and you can pretty much, you know, maneuver around. But Enfield, he just couldn't make it to the end. He just couldn't make it through almost to the end. His stamina wasn't there, and that's what happens. Now, I'm not going to really go in on him too much, because if his stamina was there, he would have been a good fight, and I think he would have won. But the stamina let him down, and they just got to go to the drawing board and get him shape better. Virgil Hunter, he's very smart with that. How if you feel yourself getting tired, take a walk around of your opponent, a couple of times, and that give yourself a breather without him knowing. Things like that, little short things like that. But he will learn, because see, like I said, these are young fighters, and now they coming up in the ranks, and people don't know nothing about them. But still, in all, he messed up with his stamina, and he paid a price for it. Matter of fact, he paid a big price for it, because his opponent hit him with a big right hand, then a big left hand, and then he was out of there. I mean, that was a TKO, baby. And that's all because of he pretty much didn't have no gas in the tank. So that's how I looked at it. So
yeah, man. The thing with that fight, and to answer your question, film study, Sean Hempfield's trainer was Buddy McGirt. It was two legendary trainers in that fight. Buddy McGirt was training Sean Hempfield, and Ronnie Shields was training David Stevens, to answer your question. But the fight, I saw it much the same way. The pressure of David Stevens eventually wore Sean Hempfield down. He was boxing well, though. He had his jab working early. David Stevens was chasing him a little bit, couldn't cut the ring off quite well. But David Stevens did land some good shots, just enough to kind of make Sean Hempfield feel him. He did bruise Sean Hempfield's face up, you know what I'm saying, throughout the entirety of the fight. However, it was one of those things where Sean Hempfield, he saw the finish line, but he just couldn't get all the way to the finish line. And I thought kind of in round 7 and 8, when he started sitting down with David Stevens more, it wasn't because he was gaining confidence. It was because, like you said, he was just getting tired, and he couldn't continue to stay on that bike. He couldn't continue to box off his back foot. So he made the decision to try to sit down and fight, and he was doing well. But David Stevens, the bigger, stronger puncher, the bigger man physically, he wore on him. And by the time they got to the 8th round, and KQKC said he barely, man, I'm talking about like he knocked him out with like 8 seconds left in the fight. I'm talking about like it might be KO of the year right now, or close to it, because we got to talk about what Chris Eubanks Jr. just went through with Liam Smith. But I like the way that David Stevens overcame. He kept coming, never stopped, and when he got him hurt, he showed that he can finish you. And it was a left hook at first that put him down the first time. Hempfield got up, and the ref probably should have stopped it, because you could tell his switch was off. You could tell his light was all the way off when he got up from that first knockdown, but the ref is like, shit, it's 20 seconds left. I'm going to try to let you make it through. And then he as soon as the ref separated and moved in and told him to continue to fight, David Stevens put his head down and threw another overhand right. And that shit put that man down and put him all the way to sleep almost, man. And so they had to wait to fight off with like 2 seconds left. It was a last-minute knockout, man. And those are always exciting, especially in a fight that's so close, where you feel like the guy that's going to get the knockout could have been losing the fight. So to watch him just change his fortunes like that, that's huge, man. Because these guys on Showbox, man, like they fighting for a contract. They fighting to try to get top rank or people or somebody to sign them and shit. So that man went from probably going into obscurity and fighting 8-round fights for the next 2-3 years against no-name opponents on smaller promotions to where he now might get signed. He now might get signed because because of that last second knockout. So shout out to him for the clutch knockout. Sean Hempfield hopefully will bounce back and get better for it, but he definitely has to work on sitting down on his shots. He has to work on his gas tank. And if he's gonna be a back-footed boxer, you got to be in tremendous shape. If you're gonna be pumping out that jab, bagging up off your back foot, trying to turn guys, trying to pivot out and shit, that is a very, very taxing style. It's a very hard style to do if you're not in real good condition, because this was only an 8-round fight. So Sean Hempfield plans to fight 10-round fights. If he plans to make it to where he's fighting 12-round fights against world-class opposition, he has to put himself in position to be in good shape and be able to weather that storm in his conditioning and his wind and his gas tank just let him down Friday night, man. But I thought it was a hell of a fight. I remember as soon as the fight was over, I called KQKC. He was like, man, you see that shit? He was like, yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching it. So I encourage all of you guys. We got 72 people in here now. Please hit the like button. But all of y'all, man, if you don't watch Showbox cards or you only look for cards when they got a big name fighter on it, man, you got to stop that stuff, man. You're doing yourself a disservice. Because if you didn't watch the Showbox card on Friday night, you missed a hell of a fight, and you missed a hell of an ending to a fight, man. It was fireworks for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else, KQ?
No, it's just that Stevenson, he's a pressure fighter now, but he's not like a pressure fighter like we always see them pressure fighters. But he's a pressure fighter that does jab occasionally and not just come bulldozing in. He's not that type of pressure fighter, but in the clutch, that's what he did. And when you start shoe shining, body shots, and you put your head in their chest, that take a toll on you. And that pretty much sealed the deal. So, but that's all I have on it.
Yes, sir. Sean Clark, Matt 2377, Edward Plex, Martin McClendon, what's up, man? Jose Diaz, what's up? Just Do Boxing in the building, what up? Yeah, and the other fight I wanted to talk about from that card was that co-main event with the kid Latif Overton. The fight that was right before that. Did you get a chance to catch that fight?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
The bald-headed dude versus the Russian.
Yeah.
Right. Talk to the people about that fight, man. I like old Latif, man. I think he's a good little prospect, man. What you got on that fight right there?
Well, that was the Southpaw versus Orthodox.
The Orthodox fighter, yeah.
Right. Well, actually, he had a little moxie. At first, he was kind of timid with his punches. He was kind of like throwing punches, but he wasn't sitting down on his punches. And of course, the Russian, I forgot his name again. But he's
his name Brusov.
Brusov. I call him.
You can call him the Russian, no shit.
Yeah, Russia. But anyway, he tried to fight just like any other southpaw. Fall out to the right and throw the left. Well, of course, the young brother. What is his name? I'm not good with names. Latif. Yeah, Latif. He was working a jab. He was doing everything he's supposed to do right. Then he hit him with a right hand. But he didn't know. I don't think he knew he hurt him right away. Then he started jumping on him. But he recovered well. The Russian did. He recovered real well. But then here we go again. They took their time. It wasn't a high stake type of fight. It wasn't going back and forth. They were setting up their shots. They were picking their shots, and that's what happened. Then of course, Latif picked his shots, and then he started welling on him. Then, of course, he had him in the corner. Then once he had him in the corner, then that's when he started teeing off on him. That's when he started hitting him with that left hand. Then he started hitting with that right hand. Now, he must got some type of power because when he hit him with that left hand, man, he went like eyes went cross. And then he came back with that right hand. And he know how to finish an opponent. He know when the opponent's hurt, go in there and go for the kill. And that's what he did. He went in there for the kill. He was a taller fighter, but still, they still was the same size and weight. But in all, I thought he was kind of a little like, I said, oh, this guy ain't gonna make it. But then again, you show that dog in him. On my show one day, I was saying how some people just don't have that dog in them, and some people got that dog in them. And that young man, Friday night, he had that dog in him because you can see his face when he got hit. You saw how he bit down on that mouthpiece, and he went straight in and started throwing blows. Then he caught him in the corner, and that's when he really started sitting down on the punches. And that was all she wrote. So,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, and to answer your question, Jason, yeah, they get paid. It's a professional fight, bro. They get paid on them Showbox cards. It's just a smaller promotion. You know what I'm saying? It's Showtime, and they work with other promoters other than the PBC to put on those fights. And sometimes the fighters do be PBC fighters, but for the most part, a lot of them be promoted by smaller promoters. Now, Atif, I like Atif. I thought he was pumping his jab well. I like the way that I like his left hand because he variates it. He'll throw it to the body. He'll throw it straight, throw it looping. He had good footwork. He was able to pivot around and keep Bruceov off of him. Bruceov was tough though, because Atif hit him with some nasty shots, and he just kept going. I think Atif power is real. So Bruceov, he showed that real tough. He showed a real tough chin, man. He real durable, and he came into the fight undefeated. And when there's two undefeated fighters like that, it's hard to break their will. But overall, Atif, he got length going for him. Seems like he's in really good condition. Didn't get tired. He works behind his jab, which is always a good thing for a young fighter. He does need to probably work on his defense though, because the head is on the line. His reactions are a little slow if we're talking about against world level opposition. But overall, he went in there against an undefeated fighter. There was a pressure fighter that was hungry, and I like that he boxed to his advantages. I tell you guys all the time, I can't stand when tall fighters don't fight tall, or when they have all this length and they don't fight to it. Well, he did a great job of fighting to his length. He did a great job of using his reach to pump out that jab, keep Bruceov at bay, keep him at a distance, and then he set down on his punches just enough to where Bruceov wasn't coming in all reckless and stuff. He started getting tentative. He started not being able to kind of pull the trigger, and the T just outboxed him the entire night. So I thought it was a very good performance from him. It's different promotional companies, Film Study. It's a lot of different promotional companies that do that, man. So I don't know who it was in specific on Friday night, but it's a lot of different promotional companies that come through on those Showbox cards. All them smaller companies, they work like hell to try to get their fighters on the Showtime Showbox card, man. So so it's hard to point out which ones, but it's a lot of them, man. But yeah, that's all I got on the Showbox card, man. I wanted to talk to you about this though, because I saw some news and then I saw some bullshit, OG, over the weekend. This is what I saw. So I saw some news that Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor, they fight is postponed because Josh Taylor messed his foot up. He did something with they call it plantar fasciitis or something. It's supposed to be real serious, where every time you take a step, it's like you walking on nails, or you walking on, you hurt. You can't walk. Your foot is fucked up. All right, you can't do nothing. That's what the news came out. OG came out like Friday night, Saturday morning. OG. Then I'm watching the Chris Eubanks Jr. and Liam Smith fight, KQ, and I see Josh Taylor there, and I see Jack Catterall there. They put them right next to each other. They get the talking noise back and forth. Josh Taylor forgot he was supposed to be hurt. He stood up and walked directly towards Jack Catterall talking shit. And I'm like, I thought your foot was hurt. I thought you couldn't walk. I thought that's why the fight got postponed. So what's going on with that shit, man? Like what's going on with you, Josh Taylor? So I don't know if you had a chance to see it. I don't know if you saw it, what I'm talking about. Yeah. But what do you think of all that, man? Is he really hurt? Is he trying to postpone the fight? Is he ducking? What's going on with this man, dog?
I don't think he ducked. I think he's trying to postpone as long as he can. I don't think he's ready. And maybe he might not. I don't know about the weight, but one thing about it, there ain't nothing wrong with his foot. Okay, now what he's describing. Okay, now only thing I know about when your foot, you have like tingling in your feet if you're a diabetic. If you have diabetic tingling in your feet, all right, and they got medication for that. All right, that's no big issue. But I never known no disease that unless your foot is broke and it's in a cast, why you can't walk on it. That's the only reason that I know of. But Josh Taylor and Team Taylor are full of crap. That's what they are. They're full of crap right now. I don't know what they're waiting on or why they're trying to postpone, but most likely it's another fight. Or most likely, is this a mandated fight or this a rematch? But
it's a rematch for the remember the WBO belt, because Josh Taylor dropped the rest of them.
Right, he dropped the rest of himself for the WBO. Yeah, so I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, he was at that fight, and he was him and Liam Smith. They all running down the hallway like kids, and going back and forth. So I mean, I'm like, what? Josh Taylor hurt. How's he hurt? He keep walking when he sit his ass down, right?
Yeah,
but it's all it's all smoke and mirrors, and what he's trying to do is pretty much prolong the fight. That's all he's trying to do. He's not ready for some reason. Now I don't know, is he not in shape? or something else, or is he waiting on another offer? I don't know. But right now, stop lying, okay,
Yeah.
and get in there and fight and defend that WBO belt. That's all I'm saying.
You
So
know, you know what'll take care of all that confusion, OG, and what I've been pushing for since I started this channel. And people like, nah, knockout, you can't do that, or this is different, or that is different. These dudes, all of them, not just Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez when he had COVID, Tyson Fury when he had COVID, Earl Spence in his eye, Jermell Charlo in his injury, Brian Castano in his injury, Dillian White when he ducked Otto Wallen talking about his shoulder was hurt. All of these fighters, bro, they should have to provide proof of their injury like every other sport, bro. Boxing is the only sport where you could be like, oh, I got a fight coming up. I got a fight coming up. I got a fight coming up. Shit, my foot hurt, bro. I ain't gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna postpone it. And you ain't gotta prove shit to nobody. All you gotta do is have a press release, and they just be like, oh, he injured. We pushing the fight back, or the fight is canceled, and don't nothing happen to you. In every other sport, they got to give you an update. The doctors got to give updates. They got to tell you when you're gonna be back, how long the injury is. Then if you don't make it back in that amount of time, they got to give another update. Like I
Jamel
like,
had to do that.
Yeah, and he didn't have to, but he did because he got doubted. And that's my thing where I don't like when people pick and choose, OG, because I'd almost be willing to bet this channel that the same people that were telling Jermell Charlo to show proof, or that he's only doing that because the fight is not selling, and saying that he wasn't really injured, those same people are not saying the same exact thing about Josh Taylor. And that's what upsets me. It's like you only pick and choose based on whether or not you support a fighter or you don't support a fighter. When in reality, if we really want this to be a sport, if we really want this sport to move forward and be the sport that we all love and be the best version of itself, these dudes should have to show us that they really injured. Now, I wasn't going to the Josh Taylor Jack Catterall fight. I'm not flying across to another country for that shit. But what about the people that already bought tickets, man? What about what I'm sure UK, they love their boxing. What about the people that already took off work or some shit? Took off work and had to travel, and they already booked hotels and shit, and maybe the hotel don't give them their money back. Or maybe they say, well, you can get tickets when the fight does happen, but what if they can't get off work? Right. Or what if Josh Taylor says, you know what, instead of postponing, I'm gonna move up altogether, and now the fight's not happening at all. What about those people, man? That's why I don't like. That's why you should have to provide proof, because you make your money based on people coming to your fight, spending their money, buying tickets and shit, but you don't have any accountability to them. You could just tell them what you want, do what you want, and then you don't have to give any proof of what you're saying, whether or not it's true. And I don't like that shit, man. I think it's horrible for boxing, man. I think it's a bad thing for the sport of boxing. I don't know if he's lying or telling the truth. I just know if he's telling the truth, it's a bad look. If you know you injured, you don't want the optics of somebody seeing you walk towards somebody like you about to fight them when you just pulled out of the damn fight or postponed the fight because your ass is supposedly got a foot issue, bro. And now we see you on camera walking towards somebody about to fight them. So if you're telling the truth, it's a bad look. And on top of that, the other side of that, it make it look like you lying, bro. It make it look like you just run around this bitch lying and shit. So either way, it's bad. And the only way to solve it is if somehow boxing can come together and say, yeah, this shit is stupid. Let's make these guys show proof of injury. If they gonna claim that they injured and can't fight, bro. I don't see why common sense shit like that is so hard, man. You got anything else on that, OG?
Right. I mean, we ain't trying to make nobody fight if they injured. But if you injured, we need to know, are you injured for real? Or are you playing games? Now, if you're not injured for real, yes, you're gonna get in there and fight. Or you don't have to fight and just we go to somebody else and you just won't get that a fight or that bag, or you might just get suspended, whatever, but still and all, listen, boxing is not gonna move anywhere until we start getting honest with everybody on the same playing field.
100%.
Not pick and choose. Everybody on the same playing field. I don't want to hear about that black and white shit either. All right, everybody on the same playing field. As long as everybody's doing the right thing, and like I say, don't let Canelo say, "Oh, I'm my hand hurt. I'm not gonna fight or whatever." No, everybody on the same playing field. That's how I look at it. So.
Already shout out to Carlos Munoz, #BigFish, #Lions Only with the $5 in the super chat. He says, I got plantar fasciitis. You can't really prove it medically, but it took 1 year for it to go away. When I got that painful, I couldn't walk. Damn. All right, well, you have somebody that had it before, and I know Carlos. Carlos been rocking with the OG a long time, and I appreciate you coming through, Carlos. And shit, he said he had it and he couldn't walk. So take that for what it's worth. But let's keep the show moving along, man. Let's talk about this Chris Eubanks and Liam Smith card, man. It was a very good card. Stormy B, man, what up, OG? I see you in the building, man. And y'all be sure when me and KQ get done, Stormy B, man, will be doing his show right after us, starting around 10:30. So y'all be sure to go check him out as he does his thing. Let's talk about the heavyweight fight, man. Joseph Parker, after getting his ass whooped by fucking Joe Joyce, he had his return fight last night. Looked okay, got the victory. What you got on that heavyweight fight between Joseph Parker and I forgot the guy's name. I'm looking it up right now. Jack Massey, that's his name. What you got on the heavyweight fight between Joseph Parker and Jack Massey, OG?
Well, Joseph Parker did a great job. Joseph Parker is Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker will never be that heavyweight. He will never be that big puncher, and the way he was fighting last night, he was biting off of every feint. Every feint he was biting off of. And he's not a dominant heavyweight. He always been that way. He's been kind of, mediocre fighter, and he don't have that dog in him either. He don't come forward, he's not gonna throw a big bomb. But last night he did, because his opponent, he knew that he couldn't hurt him. Because his opponent that he was fighting, I believe he was moving up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, so I think that played a part in it too. So what he did was, Joseph Parker, he pretty much started sitting down on his punches, and he started looping his shots. He started looping the right hand around the guard, and then he started landing. And yes, he was dominant with that, and it was a dominant performance by him. But that's not too much you're going to get from Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is not going to give you a better performance than that almost last night, the other night. So, I mean, that's just the way Joseph Parker is. Joseph Parker been in there with the best of the best, and he still fights the same way. He still don't have that aggression. He just come in and pretty much take his time and bite off everything and got this jab out there, just lingering out there, and then and that's it. That's all you're gonna get from Joseph Parker. And guys like him, Liam Smith, they don't change the style. They don't get aggressive like they should. So but he met an opponent last night that he was able to dominate. And so
he did dominate, OG. The thing is though, like I'm kind of with you, and I don't want to be too harsh, but also I'm gonna keep it real, because I don't know if Joseph Parker is gonna keep it real with himself. Look, at some point as a fighter, you got to decide if being a journeyman is good enough for you. Like if he's cool with being a journeyman and not being a world champion, and maybe he's starting to have to fight either guys like this so he can get a victory, or when he does fight somebody at the top, they probably gonna beat his ass. If he's cool with that, being that journeyman level, kind of fringe top 20 guy that you feed to a Jared Anderson when you feel like Jared Anderson is ready, or you feed to a damn what's the dude's name? F.A. Ajagba when you feel like F.A. Ajagba is ready, or you feed him to Frank Sanchez when you feel like Frank Sanchez is ready. If that's the type of fighter that you want to be, where you fight prospects that they feel like can beat you so they can look good and get your name on their resume, or when you do fight world champions, they beat your ass, or you just fight other dudes like this Jack Massey guy when you need to get a victory to build yourself back up. If that's what you're okay with being, then continue fighting. But I would just say, if the goal was to be world champion, if the goal was to be one of the best heavyweights in boxing, that ship has sailed. Because he's a good boxer, but like you said, he don't have a lot of power, which you need at the heavyweight division. And while he does have some defensive skills, he's not fast enough. He's not elusive enough with his defense and his foot movement to where the top of the division won't be able to eventually catch him and hurt him and put hands on him and stuff like that. So he has to decide, bro. He got to decide if being a journeyman is enough. If it's enough, then continue your career. If it's not, then you might want to look at life outside of boxing, because I don't think Joseph Parker is going to be able to go any further than what he is right now. I think he's on that plateau, and he ain't climbing a mountain. He just climbed the hill, and now he on that plateau to where you're going to be right here, bro. You ain't going to go up here. Maybe you won't go down here for a while, but all you're going to do is be right here. And if you cool with that, then keep fighting. If you're not, then you need to find something else to do. And I think he needs to have that conversation with himself and look himself in the mirror. Because let's just keep it a buck. Like guys like Joe Joyce, guys like Jared Anderson, Tyson Fury, even Anthony Joshua, obviously Deontay Wilder, even a Philip Hergovich, those guys, they get somebody like Jack Massey the hell out the ring with them. They get in the ring with somebody like Jack Massey, they getting him the hell up out of there, bro. Like he's not lasting with them. So the fact that he could even survive, the fact that you couldn't find a way to turn it up and take it to another level and get him the hell up out of there, to me that speaks volumes, man. And shout out to Tay, shout out to DP Rocker. I see y'all in the building. Y'all be sure to hit the like button as you come in. OG, you got anything else on that fight?
No, that's about it. Like I say, Parker, gonna be Parker. And how old is he? About 30, what? 30?
31, 31, 32. He's surprisingly young.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I figured that. But he loved fighting in the UK.
Yeah. He do. And he ain't even from there. Ain't he from like New Zealand or
Australia? Right. He's from New Zealand, I believe. And but he never fights over here. He fights in the UK. He loves over there. And well, good luck to him, but like I say, he will never be that top champion in the heavyweight division. So
I agree, man. And 104 people in the building. Y'all be sure to hit the like button as you come in, man. Please hit that like button. If you can't donate to the channel monetarily with the Cash App or the Super Chat, at least hit that like button so we can get them likes up and run them up. I think we can at least get up over 100 likes. So y'all please hit that like button for your boy one time. All right, let's get to some more news. So before we actually talk about the fight, I want to talk about Conor Benn. So without talking about the actual fight between Chris Eubanks Jr. and Liam Smith, I want to talk about Conor Benn, because Conor Benn is laughing at Chris Eubanks Jr. right now and said that basically if it was him, it wouldn't have went past 2 rounds. And I find that very, very distasteful, OG, considering what he's going through in his situation right now. What do you think of Conor Benn having any nerve to talk shit to Chris Eubanks Jr., considering Conor Benn's own shortcomings and what he did and why we didn't end up getting that fight? What you think of that, man?
Man, look, Conor Benn been running his mouth for the last week. I don't know what's going through his mind, and I've been telling everybody on my show, he lost his damn mind, because for some reason he comes up with.
Hey, real quick, OG, I want to give his exact quote. He says, "What are you saying? It wouldn't have gone past 2, would it?" So that's basically what he said. It wouldn't have went past 2 if it was him. So go ahead.
Okay, Conor. See, Conor, I don't know what he's thinking of, but for some reason he believes that science pretty much got him off the hook. I don't know how. He's still getting investigated. And no one said anything about he's in the clear. So he's delusional right now. And because science is the one that showed that you was positive, not only once, but twice. So you don't have room to say anything. Matter of fact, I would be quiet if I was him. I would be quiet and don't say anything and hope people might forget about me. Because I'm going to tell you, your career is pretty much shot, because no one wants to get in there with you after this, because everyone's going to always doubt themselves if they lose. So Conor Benn, if I was him, I would be quiet. But if I was his father, I would tell him, look, don't say anything. Because Chris Eubanks Jr. and Liam Smith, okay, yeah, they was in a fight. At least they fought. But I tell you one thing, at least they was clean, though. At least they was clean fighters. Win, lose, or draw, they was clean fighters. And that's all you ask for in boxing. And your ass can even do that. But you still want to talk on the sidelines. You still want to talk on the sidelines, and that's crazy. That's big time crazy, What's up, Jay Reddy? Yes, sir. That's my man, Jay Reddy. All right, appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Jay Ready, what up, man? Appreciate you joining the channel as a member too, man. I ain't get a chance
Yeah.
to tell you because you did it when I wasn't live, but man, thank you so much. I appreciate you becoming a member to the channel. Go ahead, OG.
So Conor Benn, I don't, very first of all, it was very distasteful, and it's like he like 999, and you are a welterweight. And when you start coming out saying you want to fight Gervonta Davis, then I knew something wrong with you. And that's why I tell everyone, no PEDs sometimes mess with your brain. And I think it's messing with Conor Benn brains, because, he's sitting there and want to fight Gervonta Davis, and he's a welterweight. And Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. Does that make sense? Then he mentioned a middleweight. You don't even fight a middleweight, but still in all, this is why Chris Eubanks Sr. Didn't want to start fighting you. Because he didn't know something didn't smell right. So and matter of fact, he wasn't in this promotion either. I don't know why, but still, so Conor Benn, be quiet, and just let the investigation play out, because he's still under investigation. They ain't cleared there yet. They haven't finished the investigation yet. He's saying that he hoped they hurry up so he can get back in the ring. Well, that might not happen, son. Okay. That might not happen because you tested positive twice. And over there, they're not getting you off the hook like that. You're not going to be like Canelo, get a 6-month slap on the wrist. That ain't going to happen. So they take that very seriously. So, but that's all I got on him. Just be quiet and sit your ass down. So that's all.
Already. Shout out to Jay Young and that Cash App too. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Here's the thing, bro. Like, you touched on all of it. Like the lack of self-awareness. And I know he's a young man, 26 years old, but bro, like, grow up. Like, it's certain times that you just gotta shut up, bro.
That's right.
Like, you just gotta be quiet, fam. You can't be running around this bitch talking about Chris Eubank Jr. when we just watch you try to get pregnant, bro. We just seen you taking Clomid pills, fam. You were taking Clomid to try to mask some shit that you had in your system, bro. You are a drug cheat, bro. You know how messed up in the head you got to be to cheat like that. Get caught cheating. Your whole boxing career is on the line, and yet you still talking shit like everything okay. Boy, if you don't sit down and shut up, man, like, you only making it worse. You only making it worse for yourself when you do some shit like that. Like, you was the same dude that tried to get that man at a catch weight, put a rehydration clause in his shit, and you was on PEDs. You just tried to murder somebody, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep it all the way real. You tried to murder somebody in the ring. You tried to say, hey, I'm gonna make you drain down so you can be a less version of yourself, and I'm gonna make sure that your ass don't get to drink 2 bottles of water. When you rehydrate, you only get to drink 1 bottle of water. Oh, and I'm about to cheat. I'm about to have all this shit in my system. I'm taking PEDs, steroids, women pregnancy pills. I'm taking all that shit so I can go in there and try to mess you up. And then you got the nerve to talk noise when the man get beat in a fair and square fight. When your ass is on the sideline, you can't fight. We don't know when/if you gonna ever fight again, all because you a cheater and you got the nerve to talk shit. Man, you gotta sit down and shut up sometime, bro. A lot of time people don't, you know what I mean? They don't realize how stupid they sound and how just immature and just, bro, like at some point you got to grow up, and that just showed a lack of maturity and the fact that instead of owning what he did and just apologizing for it and then trying to earn trust back in boxing fans' eyes, he trying to sweep that shit under the rug and act like that shit never happened. And we not going for that shit, bro.
Yeah.
We not going for that shit, man, at all, bro. So he can miss me with that shit, man. I'm not trying to hear it. And I don't like him being the one to talk shit. Like anybody else, like I saw Billy Joe Saunders was talking shit to Chris Eubanks Jr. Billy Joe Saunders actually got in the ring with him. You know what I mean? And he actually fought him. And he actually, served a little suspension. He actually had to come back from something. But if you Conor Benn right now, you ain't even fought since testing dirty, bro. You ain't even been in the ring since you popped dirty. So just shut up. And if you get back in the ring, just make sure that you don't never test positive again. That's really all I got on it, man. Let's get to the co-main event, man. React Par. Richard React Par versus Glowacki. React Par was taking a step up in competition. The cruiserweights.
Oh, okay.
The cruiserweights. It was the
Yeah,
knockout
yeah.
that happened right before the main event.
Oh,
That
yeah.
fight. That's the one we're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
cruiserweight.
Wild sparring partner.
Yeah. I don't know if he was Wilder's sparring partner because he cruiserweight. He might be though.
Yeah.
He might be, but it was Richard Riakpar versus Glowacki. Riakpar was taking a step up in competition. He was fighting a former world champion that had been in there with Alexander Usyk, and boy did he walk through him like a hot knife through butter, man. What you got on that fight between Richard Riakpar and Glowacki?
Well, Red Part, he was throwing some heat too. Kornacki, he been there with a lot of big names. A lot of big names. I believe that Red Part had been in there with Wilder sparring partner. Okay, you say Chamberlain was Wilder partner. Okay, I got you. Okay, all right, but still in all, that was a great fight though. It still was a great fight because for those to be cruiserweights, they were throwing and letting their hands go, which I thought was going to be a slow fight. But it wasn't really that slow. But they went straight at it and they went right to each other. And then again, of course, both cruiserweights, react part. He was throwing straight jabs and then coming back with the right hand. Now that right hand had a brick hand in it because he was hitting him with that right hand and he popping his head back with it. But then, of course, he caught him with an open shot and then he went down with the right hand. If I'm talking about the same Rebel part, because Rebel part, he was kind of like timid with the right hand. But then again, I didn't think he was landing that hard, but he must was landing real hard because he landed that right hand, and that right hand, man, dazed him. Then he pretty much tried to jump on him. Then he let him off. Then of course he went back and he finished him. And he finished him for good. So that's how I looked at it. That fight, I can't remember it that well. I apologize, but that's the part I remember. So, what you got on it? Knockout.
Oh man, I thought it was a great fight. I'm looking up. Somebody asked for your cash app. I'm about to put it in the chat for him. But I thought the fight was good. I wanted to see how React Part looked because Glowacki was coming off getting knocked out by Lawrence Okoli. And he got knocked out by Marius Breedis before that. So those are two. In the case of Marius Breedis, he's a former world champion and long time. One of the best cruiserweights in the last 10 years, not named Alexander Usyk. And so I wanted to see how he looked against those guys and kind of what his demeanor would be and all of that stuff. And I thought he did a great job, man. I thought he did a great job. He was able to use his right hand, use his jab to control distance, and then also land some big bombs on Glowacki early in the fight. There go OG Cash App right there, y'all. Land some big bombs on Glowacki early in the fight, and then Glowacki was never able to recover. And then I like the dog that Richard Riakpar showed when he went in to finish him. He was throwing bombs, had that ugly look on his face, like he was trying to get the hell out, get Buddy up out of there. And when you fighting a former world champion like Glowacki that you know is not gonna lay down, man, it's one of those things where I like what I saw because if you want to be a world champion and you want to fight for a world championship, you can't struggle against guys that the world champions walk through. You got to show that you're on that level. So I watched Lawrence Okoli stop Glowacki relatively easily. I watched Marius Breedis stop him relatively easily. So I wanted to see if Richard Riakpar can get on that same level and stop him just as easy. And he did that boy bad in there. And it's good to see because him and Chris Billum Smith, it seemed like once him and Chris Billum Smith fought and Riakpar was able to win that fight, his career kind of went on hold. But Chris Billum Smith been going up even though he lost, kind of like Alexis Rocha and Speedy Rashidi Ellis. It's kind of like that. Speedy Rashidi won that fight, but Alexa Rocha been going up and Speedy Rashidi was inactive. He didn't get the props that he deserved. So I'm glad to see that Richard Riakpar was able to get a big win. It's a huge win for him. It's nowhere but up from here. So I'm ready to see him challenge for world titles. If not a world title, I think a fight between him and Marius Breedis will be a damn good fight to see if he's really truly ready for like the Lawrence Okoli or the Otapia guy, the guy from Australia that just beat Marius Breedis. Maybe if he's not ready for those guys to fight for a championship yet, maybe we can see him in the ring against another former champion. And I think Marius Breedis it's just a fight to do that. Let's see who we got in the super chat. We got Martin McClendon in the super chat. He says, I argue with people all the time that the UK fighters will eventually all be exposed. Either they are drug cheats or mentally weak. Time always tells. Damn, I ain't gonna put that on all of them, but you got a point. Shout out to Mr. Munt with that $2 in the super chat. Says salute to you, Mr. Munt. Shout out to Mark West with the $5 in the super chat. He ain't got nothing to say. He just want to show support, and I appreciate that. Daily Reprieve TV, what's up? H Money, Specs, J Yo, what's up with y'all, man? Salute to everybody in the building. Y'all be sure to hit that like button.
And I want
to go ahead, OG.
No, I'm gonna say shout out to Mark West and the Cash App. Appreciate you. And Jay Young, appreciate you. And the Cash App. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate the support, y'all. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main event, man. Because we got some other stories we're gonna talk about, but I want to get to this main event first, man.
Okay.
Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Liam Smith. I was surprised, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was surprised not by the victory, but the way that Liam Smith won the fight. Talk to me about the fight, OG. What did you see as you were calling it, and were you surprised when you saw Liam Smith get the stoppage, man?
Well, when I was calling the fight, I might well say I wasn't calling it because it wasn't a lot of action. I mean, of course, Eubanks throwing a jab from the knee and kept throwing a jab, and he got long arms, which he does. He got speed, which is faster than Smith. But still and all, he started tagging with uppercuts after the jab. 1, 2, 3, 4, but he wasn't hurting Smith. Now, it did look good, and he did win that round, but it wasn't hurting Smith, but then Smith pretty much came in and just put a flurry on Eubanks. And Eubanks was trying to showboat a little bit, trying to use the head movement without using his hands and arms, just trying to razzle and dazzle and trying to get out the way, and Smith was trying to catch him and just didn't miss him by inches. But then again, then a next round comes. And of course, there go. Let's just say here. Let's just get to the fourth round. Okay, the third round. Eubanks Jr. had a great third round. I'm talking about uppercuts was landing 3, 4, 5 in a row, flush. But it still didn't hurt Smith. So Smith came out there in the fourth round and put a flurry on him. He hit him with a left hand, uppercut, left hand. He hit him with the uppercut, and his head went back. Now, Eubanks, I don't know what happened to him, but he went down. Now, I know he's in shape, but he went down. Now, I don't know what Roy Jones is telling him in the corner or what he should do or whatever, but he didn't have a chance to go in the corner that time. And then, of course, he got back up. Then once he got back up, here come Liam Smith again. He jumps on him right away because, see, remember, these guys got history. These guys got a semi-grudge match going on, and that's what Liam Smith did. He jumped on him right away, and then he went right after Eubanks Jr. Eubanks Jr. went down again, and so he went down again so much that the referee let him go and get up, and he was just dazed and drunk. And he wanted to go right after Liam Smith. I don't know, he was still fighting or he was just pissed because the fight is over with and he lost. I don't know which one it was. But I know that Liam Smith put a good whooping on him. And Eubanks Jr., I don't know what he's thinking of. Maybe he did have a good game plan. Y'all supposed to work your jab. But I don't like when people throw jabs from the hip. But still, it just mind boggles me that Chris Eubanks Jr. should be farther along than what it is. When you get in the corner, you got to put your hands up. You got to put your hands up, or you will get hit. Ain't no doubt about it. And of course, Beefy, they called Liam Smith. Well, Beefy went on and took advantage of that and hurt him, and he hurt him bad. So if you see that eye, that right eye, that don't come from accumulators and shots. That right eye came from one uppercut, one shot, put it that way, and it blew right up. So I mean, I ain't mad at Liam Smith. He did what he's supposed to do, and Chris Eubank Jr. He didn't do what he should have done, and I think he should have been farther along than what he was. Now, did Roy Jones help him or hurt him? It don't matter when it comes to the trainer, because see, the trainer only can teach you what he knows. It's up to you if you're gonna listen. It's gonna up to you if you're gonna follow the instruction. But if you don't, then then you out there by yourself. So that's how I looked at it.
Hey, let me tell you, troll something, bro. Get that racist shit out of my chat, man. Like I ain't on that shit. Like you say some stupid shit. Like, isn't that what black boxing is all about? Running and running and running. Well, explain to me why you can point to Sonny Edwards, who's a back-footed boxer and a counterpuncher, and fights off his back foot. And then you can turn around and you can point to guys like Tank Davis, Earl Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, all these guys that do not run, that don't fight like that. A fighting style is not based on your race or your ethnicity, bro. Like, cut that shit out, man. Like, get that shit out of here, bro. If you're gonna talk boxing. Leave that race shit out of it on my channel, bro. So go make you another account, come back, and then you can talk boxing. But we ain't doing that shit over here because you trying to cause dissent in my chat. You trying to make shit about race, and I ain't on that shit over here. Because Sonny Edwards is a damn good fighter. He's more elusive. He's more elusive than a lot of the guys that people think are elusive fighters. And he's a white UK dude, man. So stop that shit, bro. There's no your fight style does not depend upon your ethnicity, bro. At all. You know what I'm saying? So cut that shit out, man. Get that shit out of my chat. But yeah, on the fight, man, Chris Eubanks Jr. and Liam Smith. Look, I thought Chris Eubanks Jr. was controlling the fight, bro. Yeah. I thought he was controlling the fight up until he got stopped. Liam Smith was having an issue with his jab. He couldn't find the range on Chris Eubanks Jr. Chris Eubanks Jr. was hitting him with uppercuts. I had him winning 3 rounds to 0, bro. I had him up in that fight and controlling that fight. And I was like, yo, Liam Smith need to do something. He need to do something to change the way that this fight is going. Mm-hmm. To change the way that this fight is going. So with that being said, bro, it's like Liam Smith had a switch get on, and that damn Roy Jones Jr., as I call Chris Eubanks Jr., Roy Jones the third, that whole style of where I'm gonna look like Roy. It's like he was watching. I think he watched Rocky or Creed too much. I think they training method. Chris Eubanks Jr. just looks at Roy Jones Jr. film, and then he just mimics him in the ring, try to look like him, try to move like him, and all that shit finally caught up to him, bro. You not fast enough. You not skilled enough to be having your hands down. As you said, OG, shooting your jab from the hip and shit, trying to be fast, trying to act like you can counter somebody and like you got head movement. And he kept moving. He would always try to duck down and then lean straight back to get away from Liam Smith. He would duck down and lean straight back. And he was up against the ropes. He was cornered. He tried to duck down. Liam Smith caught his ass with a left hook. And then when he got caught with the left hook, he tried to lean back. Liam Smith caught his ass with a right hand, and that man was out. And then Liam Smith closed it out with another left hook right down the ropes and put his ass all the way down. Now, somebody asked, why did he get up so quick? That's what dudes do when they not used to getting put down. Yeah. You always have to worry about a dude who ain't used to getting put down, how they react when they get put down, because you can fuck yourself up by jumping up too early when you still disoriented. And so Chris Eubanks Jr. has always had a reputation. You can say he can't fight. You can say you never was high on him. But one thing everybody could agree on is that he always had a reputation for having a good gas tank, and he always had a reputation for having a good chin. So he's not used to being in that position. He's not used to being hurt like that. Another guy that happened to, Caleb Plant, when he was fighting Canelo Alvarez. They both got put down and they both jumped up real quick trying to jog it off and act like they was okay. Bro, the last thing you need to do when you get your light switch cut off is jump up and try to jog around the goddamn ring. No, you take a knee, you try to gather yourself, and you get up slowly. And that's why he had no shot with his legs once he got hurt the first time. And then there's still 2 minutes left in the round. And then Liam Smith Jr. did what he ain't no junior. Liam Smith did what Liam Smith needed to do. And the thing that was so surprising about it, KQ, was that Chris Eubanks Jr. was the bigger man coming from 168 down to 160. And he was supposed to be the stronger, bigger puncher with the power. Liam Smith is a 154 guy who didn't have much power at 154. He only had like 19 knockouts and 33 or 34.
Hold on, knockout. Look, AZ, this AZ guy, keep on mentioning black boxers again.
Hey, y'all got to get him out my chat, bro. While I'm
one
talking, I can't block it. Oh no, I got it. Y'all, I can't block everybody, bro. Y'all got to get him out my chat, man. That's what y'all got wrenches for, bro. Get him out of here. Don't time him out. Just get him out of here, bro. That's the same dude that I blocked. He came back under another account. We can't mess up the floor of the show. If I'm talking, if I'm cooking, I don't have time to do it. That's what you guys are mods for, bro. Y'all got to get him the hell up out of here, man. Somebody block him, bro. But for Chris Eubanks Jr. and Liam Smith, the thing with Liam Smith, you don't anticipate him getting a stoppage like that. You don't anticipate him being able to do that because he's like a 154 guy coming up from 160, fighting a bigger, stronger man, and he already didn't really have a lot of power at the smaller weight class. And he comes up and then he surprises everybody with a stoppage, and not just a stoppage. He damn near put that man all the way to sleep, bro. Damn near put him all the way to sleep, and that shit was just crazy to watch, man. It was surprising. And again, if you talk about this fight, you talk about the fight that we saw on Friday with David Stevens. This might just be, it might be the knockout of the year right now. It's only January, so obviously we got a long ass time. But considering that the stage that it was on, the names that were involved in the fight, and the fact that it's one of those knockouts that you didn't see coming, you got to give it knockout of the year right now. You got anything else on that fight?
Basically no. I just wonder, where do Chris Eubank Jr. go from here? Like I say, this is gonna put a big dent in his career. I don't think he's gonna be working anymore with Roy Jones. I think Roy Jones ran his course with him, and he's gonna have to find his identity. Roy Jones said he was a complete fighter. What you mean by a complete fighter? You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know, you got to fight one certain style and stick with it and work on it and make it better. You know, you can't fight that chicken type style that Roy Jones used to fight. You know, I never liked that style anyway. You know, they call that, used to call it the chicken type fighting style. You know, but you know, I don't know what they call it now, but I just didn't like that style. You know. And only certain people can fight a certain way. Only certain people can do a shoulder roll. I mean, everybody trying to mimic everybody. You know, do what's best for you. So that's why I'm trying to find out, what will Eubanks Jr. do now? Where will he go from here? You know,
man, he gonna start selling his name. He gotta sell his name to you know what I'm saying, to get money. Like, he just gonna sell the Eubanks name to up and coming fighters that he know are better than him. He ain't gonna be world champion. He's in the same position Joseph Parker is in, OG. You gotta decide if you cool with being a journeyman and sell your name, get a couple paychecks, and get out of Dodge, or if you already done boxing. And no evidence, man. I got you wrenched up now, man. But you know, you got to get timed out for 5 minutes, man. You can talk all your shit about my Cowboys. We just don't accept the name Cowgirls, my brother. But you got a wrench, man. You got a wrench now. So when you come back, can't nobody block you. But man, if you come back wrench or not, you call them the Cowgirls, I'm gonna time your ass out again, man. We don't do that shit over here, man. We ride heavy, man. We gonna get the W. I don't know what the hell you talking about. No evidence, but shout out to my bro, no evidence. All right, man. So that's the card. That's what happened this weekend. Let's look ahead a little bit and cover some of these stories, man, with the time we have left. So Artur Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde are gonna be fighting this weekend. They put Artur Beterbiev is putting his WBO, WBC, and IBF title on the line. It's a unified defense for him. Anthony Yarde says he coming for the knockout. They stare offs and they stare down. It's been very, very intense. And I can tell Anthony Yarde is there. He's there to try to do something, man. He's there to win. But go ahead and preview that fight for us, man. Who you think? Well, you ain't got to give your pick, but do you think Anthony Yarde got a chance? And just kind of break down that fight and what the people can expect from that fight as we move forward and look for these big fights next week, man.
Well, like I said this past week, Anthony Yarde and Beterbiev, that's gonna be a good fight. And keep an eye on Anthony Yarde. Don't count Anthony Yarde out yet, because Anthony Yarde, you know, I feel comfortable if he's, you know, stop messing around with them weights. But you know, it's too late now. But still, I think Anthony Yarde want to prove something. I think that's the most thing he want to do, prove something. Now, I'm not sure that he happy losing, but he want to prove to the world that he's just not a hype job. He's not a one-hit wonder. And I really believe that he want to show everyone that. And I really believe that he's going to give him a good run for his money. Now, I don't know what kind of game plan he has, but whatever game plan he has, he's going to try to execute it where he's going to stay away from that right hand. He don't want to get anywhere near that right hand of Beterbiev. And then he's gonna try to pretty much put some rounds on in the bank. You know, he don't want to pretty much engage, but he will engage. That's what he's gonna try to do. Now, Anthony Yarde. Now, yes, I was kind of hound Anthony Yarde when he first came out. Then, of course, then we see that okay, well, Anthony Yarde, he lost that one, and he lost to this person, and then I said, okay, maybe it's just a hype job, but it's not. I don't think he is. I think he just got to prove something, and let everybody know that I am here. I am a real fighter, and I can fight with the best of them, and that's what he want to prove. And matter of fact, just taking the fight alone, that shows you how hungry he is. Now, Beterbiev, he gonna look at it like, okay, I got another one that I could put on my belt. I got another notch to put on my belt. Because right now, one thing I can say, Beterbiev does hit hard. I mean, he hit hard without even trying to hit hard. But he doesn't have a lot of movement. He doesn't have a lot of good feet movement. He doesn't have that ring savviness that we be looking for. But he does have that hand, that right hand. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens because a lot of people are counting Anthony Yarde out. They count him out in the first 2 rounds, first 3 rounds. As early. But I don't see it that way. I see it that he's gonna last longer than that. Matter of fact, he might last the whole fight. Never know. When your adrenaline is running on knockout and you want to win, and you want to win bad, you want to show everyone that I'm not no just one hit wonder and this and that. You really, really up for this fight. You really, really get up for fights like this, and that's what I think is gonna happen. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people Saturday.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, man, like so many questions. Like Anthony Yarde, he don't spar, bro. Like I can't trust a man that don't spar. You know what I mean? Like I can't trust a fighter that goes into fights and his sparring partner is his trainer. That's one concern. Like you ain't used to taking punches. You ain't used to getting hit on the chin. You don't get hit on the chin all goddamn camp, and then now you finna go in there with arguably the hardest puncher in boxing. Like when you talk about guys that hit hard, you talk about Deontay Wilder's right hand. You talk about Artur Beterbiev, and you mentioned Tank Davis. Those got to be the top 3 hardest punches in boxing for their weight classes or in and around their weight classes right now. And you about to go in there if you Anthony Yarde with no goddamn sparring and shit. Like I don't know about that, bro. But like you, I'm glad that he took the step up. Salute to Foxy Brown with that $5 in the super chat. How's it going? We're doing good. Talking some boxing. So I worry about that for him, bro. And then just the dog that I seen Artur Beterbiev to be like, that's gonna take a lot to overcome. He got the far better amateur pedigree. He's fought obviously the far better competition. The only one that you can give Anthony Yarde was Sergey Kovalev when Sergey Kovalev was way past it, and even Sergey Kovalev stopped him. And Anthony Yarde's gas tank, all that muscle that he carrying, OG, all that muscle mass that he got, bro. The last thing that you need to be in a fight against somebody like Artur Beterbiev is have gas tank issues, bro. Like you can't go into an Artur Beterbiev fight and we got to worry about whether or not you're going to get tired rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 because he going to start turning up on your ass.
Yeah.
He and he can stop you early too. And if he don't stop you early, it's probably because you tough and you just letting them beat on you. And so you got gas tank issues and he going to be beating on you and shit. The only way that I see Anthony Yarde winning this fight is he catch Artur Beterbiev with a hard shot that Beterbiev don't see coming, and he's able to jump on him and finish him. That's how he gonna win the fight. He ain't gonna outbox Beterbiev, and he damn sure ain't gonna outlast him if it turns into a war of attrition and who got the better gas tank and who can last longer and take the late round. So I'm very, very I got a lot of respect for Anthony Yarde, the route that he's taking, and not wanting to step aside, wanting to take this opportunity. He showed that heart when he took the Sergey Kovalev fight. Because remember, they tried to pay him step aside money so Sergey Kovalev could fight Canelo Alvarez. But he said, nah, I ain't taking no step aside money. Shit, I'm finna beat your ass and I'm gonna get the Canelo fight. And he ended up taking the fight. He lost. He lost the fight, but he took the fight. So and now he's taking another tough fight with Artur Beterbiev, who's even more tougher than Sergey Kovalev. So my hats off to him for taking the fight and doing this thing, man. But damn, bro, like it's a tall task. And I just hope that both parties, I hope everybody make it out safe. Ain't got to go to the hospital. Ain't got no broken eyes, no broken bones or nothing. Because this could be a very ugly fight. And it could be one-way traffic and get real ugly real quick. And Anthony Yarde has the type of trainer that doesn't want to throw in the towel, that wants to prove that he's a real trainer, that wants to prove his methods work, and is prideful. And so if he get in there and he don't want to throw in the towel on Anthony Yarde in a lose-lose situation, and Yarde is being too tough, that shit could get ugly in there real quick. And that's all I got on that one. KQ, man, I wanted to ask you, because I heard you cooking on it. We haven't had a chance to cook on it together. These Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers, man. These Tank Davis pay-per-view numbers. You got some people talking about 61,000. You got some people talking about 400,000. You got some people talking about 200,000, between 200 and 25,000. Simple question, bro. This all stems from people trying to make Tank Davis look like he's not a star in the sport of boxing. What do you think of these dissenting reports and these different reports? And why are we getting so many people saying so many different things in regards to Tank Davis and his star power, man?
Listen, first of all, Rick Glazer came out with this 61,000 whatever. Keep in mind, Rick Glazer is a PBC hater, Al Heyman hater. He loved Bob Arum. He was Bob Arum, what you call working boy. Other words, I want a glass of water. Go to the store, give me a pop. Go to the store, give me a hot dog. That's the type of guy Rick Glazer is. And he want to play this big role and go on shows like Fred Hawthorne shows. No blacks that don't care about talking about other blacks. That type of show. But no, Tank Davis, this is basic common sense, people. That's all it is. Tank Davis sold out that stadium and set a record. That's just ticket sales. Now think about that. Ticket sales. Now let's think about the pay-per-view buys, which really don't matter in this day and age. Why? Because piracy. That's why. It don't matter because of piracy. Now, of course, some people say, well, he did high as 400,000, 500,000 pay-per-view buys. All right? I don't believe that either. Now, if you have basic common sense, you would say it's right in between. Right around 200,000 maybe, or something like that, which is good in this day and age, especially with illegal streaming. So, I mean, everybody see Gervonta Davis as a star. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of powers that be don't like it. Now, they're not acting like it, except for Tim Bradley, but they know the truth. They know the truth because everywhere this man goes, and I'm not a big Tank Davis fan, y'all know that.
Yep.
But one thing about it is, this man is breaking gates everywhere he go. And I ain't talking about pay-per-view numbers, so think about the pay-per-view. If they can pack him in everywhere he go, damn near, then think about what the pay-per-view numbers are. Because every time somebody sip a beer, anybody buy merchandise, anybody buy anything to eat, he get a percentage of that. So you got to think about things like that. But that's beside the point, though. But still, there's a lot of people just don't like the young man because the young man is not your average kiss ass. Put it that way. He's not your average yes sir. He's not your average going on these big platforms and talking this, that, and this and that. He's not like that. All right. He's young. He's fresh. He's hip. Everybody like him. And he put asses in the seats. The rappers like him, the actors like him. I mean, he has the whole package, and that's a problem with some people. Some people just can't handle it. Some people just can't handle the stardom. Belts, yes, they do make a difference. Belts do make a difference. But
Yeah.
when it comes to him, you got belts that make a difference, and you got fighters that don't have belts but still making a difference. And that's Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis done everything right. Now, someone said this knockout that Floyd,
What they say?
they said Floyd leaked the numbers. All right. Now, now, of course, why the hell he would do that? Because see, I would be proud of what I built. Okay, I would be proud of what I built, and what I built was a box office blockbuster in Gervonta Davis. I built him up, and Floyd would be proud to say that because I know Floyd. Floyd is arrogant. And no way he would leak the numbers. 61,000. Rick Glazer, you can do better than that with your hateful ass. You can do better than that. You know you can, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, Tank did the numbers and let know the pay-per-views. I don't think it was no 500,000, but if you do your math, you can say it's somewhere in between. All right, not that low 61, but in between like 200,000 maybe and 300. I would say that. But the pay-per-view numbers is starting tick a lot of people off because Gervonta Davis don't need Floyd Mayweather now, and that's okay because Floyd did his job, and Floyd shows you all what he can do, and he did it. And now Gervonta Davis took the training wheels off, and now he's on his way and doing what he's doing. And one thing I do like what he's doing is he's sharing some of that wealth. He's sharing that wealth. He is putting everybody on. He's putting everybody on the card if he can. So look at the last card he did. Like I said, he broke another record. And then same way when you go to Atlanta, Baltimore, all the other places, and the Barclays Center, he broke a record there at the Barclays Center. This is what makes these guys jealous. This is what makes these guys look and say, "Oh, Tank ain't nothing. Oh, Tank, oh, he ain't this and that." Yeah, but if I was Tank, I would say, look, I won't even care about that no more because he's in a different tax bracket now. So I won't even say that anymore. But I think it's so stupid for people that say they love boxing, which they really don't. They just love the fighter. If you really love boxing, you keep it straight down the goddamn middle. But you don't. So you don't love boxing, you just love the fighter. And I don't know why you love the fighter because he ain't giving you no money. But still in all, you gotta keep it straight down the middle. And it is what it is, so that's how I look at it.
Check it out, OG. You said a lot of things that are facts, and I want people to understand, like, this is the type of shit, bro. Like, to get me annoyed, this is the type of shit that annoys the hell out of me, bro. Like, this is the type of shit that annoys the hell out of me, and I'm explaining to y'all why. So, to act like this young man is not a star when you can see the entire sport of boxing disagrees with you. All these fans, they disagree with you. And what I mean by that, OG, the man sold out in Atlanta. He sold out in New York. He sold out in DC. He sold out in Baltimore. He went to LA and he sold out. You go from 130 all the way up to 140. Every single fighter, every single promoter that is worth anything, they all got his name in their mouth. You hear Bob Arum, he talking about Tank Davis. You hear Eddie Hearn, he talking about Tank Davis. At 130, when Shakur was the best 130 pounder in the division, he was talking about Tank Davis. You go to 135, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, when he was there, they all got Tank Davis' name in their mouth. You go up to 140, Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor, they got Tank Davis' name in their mouth. So all the top fighters talking about they want to fight him. He sell out everywhere he go. Everywhere he go, he sell out. And you got people that will still come to me and tell me that he's not a star, bro. And I'm like, look, is he the biggest star in boxing? I ain't saying that, but from 140 pounds all the way down to 105, that is 9 weight class or 8 weight class. You got 105, 108, 112, 115, 118, 122, 126, 130, 135, 140. That's 10 weight classes. You go to 140. You go to 147, maybe Earl's bigger. But at 154, ain't nobody bigger than him. At 160 right now, ain't nobody bigger than him. At 168, you got Canelo, so he's bigger than him. At 175, ain't nobody bigger than him. At Cruiserweight, ain't nobody bigger than him. You got the heavyweights like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, they bigger than him. So you got some heavyweights, you got a super middleweight, and you got a welterweight that are bigger stars than Tank Davis. Everybody else, he's a bigger name than them, and it proves it if you just pay attention to the people that actually make money on boxing. You know, the fighters that want to get their bag, the fucking promoters that want to do business with people to get bags. They all telling you who the big name is because they make sure that all they fighters keep Gervonta Tank Davis' name in their mouth. So, and these ain't my opinions, bro. These ain't my opinions. These are facts, bro. These are 100% factual statements that I'm making. So that's what annoys me. It's like, damn, bro, you can say Devin Haney is the undisputed champion. You can say that Josh Taylor has a better resume and he's the former undisputed champion and he lost his belts because he dropped them. You can say that you think Regis beats him. You can say that you think Shakur Stevenson outboxed him. But when you get to lying and shit, OG, and when you get to saying shit that's just not true, right, that's the stuff that I have an issue with, bro. Like I ain't got like you can think that anybody gonna beat anybody until they fight, or you can think that somebody else may end up being a bigger star one day. That's cool, bro. But to just ignore facts, to just ignore what the data actually tells you, that's the shit that just make me look at people sideways. So as far as the pay-per-view numbers, like you said, I worry about where the information is coming from, bro. Like if Rick Glazer is reporting on anything that has to do with the PBC and Al Heyman, but he also out of his mouth said how much he dislikes Al Heyman and how much he hates Al Heyman, I'm not listening to anything that he has to say reporting on their business objectively, because how the hell can you do that shit if you already admitted that you got disdain for him and you can't stand him and you don't like him? That's like me right now. If I told you, man, I can't stand KQKC. He's horrible. He's not good at what he do. And he just trash when it comes to commentating this boxing shit. Oh, well, Knockout, what do you think of KQKC channel? Oh, I think it's a horrible channel. You ain't going to listen to me because I just told you how much I don't like the man, bro.
Right.
That shit don't make no sense. So at the end of the day, bro, it is what it is. The young man is one of the biggest stars in boxing. His numbers prove that. The way that fighters behave when discussing him prove that. And the way that these promoters behave proves that, because they all would drop whatever they doing. You name whatever fighter you want to around his weight class. If they get an offer from Tank Davis, they taking that hoe. They not gonna sit around here and act like they got bigger fish to fry than Tank Davis. They gonna take a fight with him, and that lets you know that he got the star power in and around 135 pounds. Now, last thing, because we got a few minutes, OG. We got a few minutes. Earl Spence tweeted this out, man, and I don't know what to make of it, man. So maybe you can help me. So he tweeted out, he says, sometimes you think they ready, then you have to put them back on the nipple. So I'm like, basically, you gotta son them, or you gotta let them know that they just a baby and you the big dog. I'm like, all right, that sound good, but he ain't put no name to it. So my mind started racing, OG. I'm like, all right, shit. Is he talking about Keith Thurman? Maybe Keith Thurman think he finally ready to fight him, but he gonna show him that he ain't ready. He's talking about Jerron Boots Ennis, the young guy who keeps saying he ready, saying he want the smoke, and he gonna show him that you really just a little boy to me. Is he talking about Terrence Bud Crawford? Oh, you think you ready for me to spin the block? You ain't ready for me to spin the block. I'm about to son you, and I'm gonna beat your ass. OG, who is he talking about? What's up with this cryptic tweet? I don't understand. Can you please make sense of it for your boy one time, man? What's going on with this shit, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb with this one. Well, maybe he's talking about Terrence Crawford. You think you're ready to be a boss, but you're not. You think you are a boss, but you're not. I've been a boss. I know what it is to be a boss. We all bosses at PBC, indirectly they are. You know, and that's what it is. You know, not top rank, they're not bosses. All right, They don't get back end money, none of that. All right, they fight on the app. So maybe being a promotion free agent, maybe you think you're ready, but you're not ready because you made all the wrong moves the first time. So you need to get back on that milk. That's what it's probably saying. Or then again, might be talking about Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman. Now, Keith Thurman, I doubt if he's talking about him in a way because Keith Thurman don't care about boxing right now. He don't care about belts right now. Keith Thurman want that bag. That's all he want. He want that bag, and that's it. So, or maybe Boots Ennis. Or maybe Boots Ennis, and maybe you thought you was ready to fight me, but when we saw where you fought on Karen, that you're really not ready yet. Maybe you need to some more marinating or something like that. But all in all, I put my money on Bud Crawford. That's what I believe he's thinking about, Bud Crawford. Because I think Bud Crawford is not ready to do some serious negotiations. Because Steven Espinosa put his foot down this time. We're not going to be sitting here going back and forth for months at a time. We're not going to do that this time. All right? If Earl beats Keith Thurman, he's going to come back down to 147. Then he's going to try to make a deal with Bud Crawford. Now, Steven Espinosa said, hey, we got everything he wanted. Then we sent it to him. He sent it back and said that what we wanted. We straightened it out, sent it back to him, and he kept taking time. Keep killing time in between. So he was killing all the time. He was pretty much dragging it on. But Steven Espinosa said, not this time, baby. Not this time. We're going to get this done. And we're going to get it done and quickly and swiftly, goddammit. All right? If we don't, bye-bye. We're going somewhere else. Or Earl is going up to 154. So, so maybe that's what he's thinking about. That's what I think. Because right now, Bud Crawford, he was trying to be slick the first time, and by trying to negotiate with two different types of platforms. But this time, Steven Espinosa putting his foot down, and I don't blame him. I will put my foot down too. We're not going to take up a lot of time with this shit. All right, we're going to go ahead on and get it done, and that's it. So. And so, but then again, I don't know what he's saying. Knockout, really.
yeah. To be honest with you, man, it's one of those things where, this is one of the few issues that I do got sometime, bro. Like, just let us know what's up, bro. Like, if it's Keith, it's Keith. If that's who you talking to, if it's Bud, if it's Jerron, right, it's them. Like that's cool. But it's like that shit can be interpreted so many ways. It's like, damn, bro. Like, who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? I hope it's Bud, and he talking about you ain't ready for me to spin the block, but more, or I hope it's Boots, where it's like you a little son to me, you a kid to me. I'm putting your ass back on the nipple. But more than likely, if we look at what the WBC ordered, if we look at the reports, if we look at the fact that he went to the WBA and asked him if it was okay for him to fight Keith Thurman, you got to say it's probably Keith Thurman that he's talking about, man. But it is what it is. I don't have much else, y'all. Y'all be sure to go check out Stormy B, man. KQ, give your last words and let everybody know where to find you at.
Yes, sir. All right, you can find right here on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Central Time. All right, and yes, I will be calling the Beterbiev versus Yarde fight this Saturday. And so stay tuned for that, and we'll be going over that this week. And with that, that's all I have. Thank everybody for coming in today and showing love. Thanks everybody for the support, super chats, and the cash apps. All right. And that's
already,
all I
man.
have.
Already. And look, y'all, we got a debate coming down this Wednesday, man, between BFTB Boxing and Boxiana. Show starts at 7:30 on Wednesday. They doing a Tank Davis, Devin Haney debate. That shit is going to be fire. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. I'm live every Wednesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Also live every Sunday morning with the Singing OG KQKC Boxing Network. We'll be over there on his platform after the Artur Beterbiev fight. All I got to say to y'all is go Cowboys. Have a good Sunday. Be safe and hug the ones that you love. To answer your question, Specs, Boxiana's debating for Tank Davis, and BFTB is gonna be debating for Devin Haney. That's all I got. OG, enjoy your Sunday, and we'll catch y'all next time. And with that, we out of here. Peace out, y'all.
All right, peace.